Well, it might be cold, but it is a classic chub morning. You join me perched on the edge of one of my favourite rivers, and I'm in the company of my good friend Zack. And between us, we think that is absolutely running perfect. We've had a bit of flood water. It's now running sort of low and clear with that slight green tinge. And I think if we get things right and we get the feeding right, we should be catching 1 or 2 chub today. The plan of action is to head upstream with a favourite method, to be honest. Both of us agree that this is probably the best way to catch a chub, or at least the most enjoyable, which is long-trotting maggots on a float rod. Now, the most important thing with this is feeding, and we've got to feed consistently for perhaps 20 minutes, half an hour, encourage the shoal mates to feed, and once we get the chub like that, competing against themselves, then we should not just catch 1 chub, we should hopefully catch 3 or 4. So what we're going to do is drop into one of our favourite swims upstream, which, if my memory serves me correct, was the same swim that Zack caught his first ever big chub on the float. So it's quite a historic area for us. A lot of good memories and a lot of lovely captures out of that swim. So I'm really looking forward to getting in there. Now, since I taught Zack to fish like this for chub, this was probably 7-8 years ago, I taught him how to long trot for chub. He's been coming over on his own, and I'll be honest, the apprentice has probably become a bit more of a master. So I think it's only fair, I can see how excited he is, I think it's only fair to get him up there, get him in that swim, get him feeding, and see if he can catch 1 or 2.
I think we're right a minute, it's just coming upstream, which is what we want really, as long as it doesn't go around that scaff pole on that other side. Feels like a good, it's come off. No. No. It's gutting, wasn't even playing it that hard. Keep feeding, that's all we can do.
Maybe more, mate.
Gutted. There'll be more. You don't want to lose your first bite of the day. It's always good to get that first one in. It's just done the link, just at the hook. Damn it. Oh well. Keep going. Bit of bad luck there. Lost one. But we've upped the hook link, £5 fluoro now. I'm actually going to go for a red and a white maggot. I do like the mix. I'll keep the old freebies going as well though. And we're going to make a cast and hopefully our luck changes. It's all about that crease at the back. Perfect. Bottom. In she goes, lovely, that'll do. It's in there, see what we got. good one. And the most important part is, get some more bait in ready for the others. Keep that going in and you're likely to catch more. Oh. And that is a good first fish of the day. It's a good, probably 4-pounder, 4.5-pounder. There you are, you can see the hook bait. There's also no maggot inside her. That shows that there's other fish down there getting the free offerings. Good start to the morning. Hopefully we get a few more.
Well, a beautiful chub for Zack there and a lovely start and perhaps a sign of things to come. Had we got a shoal feed in? Zack certainly thought so, and as he continued to feed that swim, he readied himself for another cast. But would another shoal mate slip up? We were about to find out.
Yep, we're in. Looks like a big heavy fish. Ooh, lovely chub. Bit of a lump. We want to get this one in the net. That's a lovely fish. Oh, look at that. This is one we came up here for today. Get that one on the mat. Lovely chub, this one. Nailed on that little super spade. Get that out of the way. Well, that is a lovely long fish. I'll spin her over. Look at that. I'll have to give that one away, I reckon. I've unhooked her. Gonna give her a rest. Gonna get the scales and the camera sorted.
I've watched Zack catch 3 chub, and I'm hoping now it's my turn to have a go on the old tench float rod and put a bend in it for a nice big chub. All about rhythm. You get in that rhythm, pouch full of maggots, cast, pouch full of maggots, cast. You want this hook bait going down amongst that free falling food, and it's a lot more natural. Lovely. If I can keep that there, we're in business, mate. Getting dangerously close to where I think they're probably sitting. Yeah, right at the bottom of the swim. God, that lovely stalemate when you hook a chub on the float. Don't know if it's a big fish, but it was right down on the bush. The classic place you'd expect to find a chub, under the snag. Oh. In a way, I'm kind of glad it ain't a big one, because that was scary hooking it down the swim. Well, it's not the biggest chub in the world. It's just spewed up a load of red maggot. So it's definitely been feeding. Oh, I just slipped that size 18 super spade out, hooked right on the nose. And yeah, another beautiful chub. Not the biggest in the world, but fantastic condition. Really pristine. Love it when they hold these fins up. I'm not a massive fan of keep nets. I don't mind just plopping 1 or 2 chub in a 30-inch net for a short period of time. That small chub was to be the last bite from that swim, and despite running the float right into the branches, I just couldn't buy another bite. The shoal had obviously spooked and it was going to be time for a move, but before that, best we take a look at Zack's wonderful brace of chub.
Here we are with my 2 big ones. Top one went 5.4, didn't weigh the second one, but I reckon it's a good 4-pounder. Lovely way of catching them on the trotted maggot and on a freezing cold day. They're like 2 bars of ice there, but look at them. Let's get them back, catch some more. The soft reeds, she'll be alright. They've been resting for ages.
Well, in classic chub style, we went roving, and to be honest, in the company of a good friend, the afternoon absolutely zipped by, and despite trying several swims and getting through several pints of maggots, we just couldn't find any more chub, and to be honest, no swim felt like the first. Now, don't know whether it was the pressure of other anglers or just the conditions, but we really struggled to get any more bites. In fact, I didn't get another bite until dusk. Well, I think that's that. It's been a lovely day on one of my favourite rivers, but we're losing the light now and the bites just aren't coming. I had one out of this swim, second trot down, and sometimes you can catch them a little bit early, and if there was a shoal there, they probably spooked. But we'll be back on a different day, probably on the same tactic because it's so lovely, trotting this beautiful river. See you later, girl. Oh, excellent. Lovely session really, mate.
Yeah, it was a great day out, wasn't it?
Well, you're never going to turn down a 5-pound chub on the float, are you?
No,
you know.
absolutely not. Especially when the temperatures as cold as they were last night. Down
Exactly.
to -3, 4 I think last night.
Yeah, it was -3. You know, it was a great result. I think we ended up with 5 chub on the trotting gear from a favourite river.
Yeah, you can't beat it,
know.
can you?
Won't be long, mate, and we'll be back.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm looking forward to it already, to be honest. Right, as you can see behind me, I'm out with Zack. He's feeding. We've got a lovely snag behind us. Caught chub here before, and we're hoping they're still going to be there. Now, we're on a different river from last time, back on the float rods, which is our favourite method. We've been feeding now for probably 20 minutes. And I'm hoping we're going to make a cast, run the float along that lovely snag. Float's going to sink and we'll connect with a nice big chub. Well, as you can see, this is a beautiful swim. We've got 2 really large snags, all collapsed willows that have gone in. And I'm hoping that we can catch chub off this first bush. Now, I'm sure there's a couple under there, and if we do start catching them there, the nice thing in this swim is that they can retreat into that second snag, and that will hopefully give us more chance of catching multiple chub, as the shoal have got somewhere to retreat, and we can draw them back out with some more food. And it's a nice long trot. It's nice to trot maybe 20 yards. Although the flow is quite slow, so it might end up being a waggler job. I've got a loafer on at the minute. Zack's just going to set a waggler up, and we might end up firing a waggler right into the back of that snag, drawing it back and running it into that second raft. if the chub aren't here. But we'll start on the first bush and see how we get on. Right, so I'm just going to tie Zack a link. Last week he lost that fish on that horrible pre-tied link, which are nowhere near as strong. I've got a £5 fluorocarbon and a super spade, best trotting chub hook ever made. I'm going to whip him up a new link, and I'm going to do a nice long length for this. This is £5 fluorocarbon. I'm going to do a nice sort of metre long length for this. Now, I wouldn't normally do that if I'm fishing on the loafer, but on the waggler you need a stringer shot down the line to help that bait fall. And to be honest, I'd much rather put shot on a fluorocarbon than I would on a mono, because it doesn't damage it anywhere near as much. So a nice metre long length for that. It's probably about 4 or 5 foot out there, so that's where we're going to want that shot. We're going to tie the spade up, load that up with shot, and then Zack's going to have this lovely link. It's nice and strong and much better than a pre-tied one. Well then, mate, who's going first?
Well, I think we're going to have to flip a spool of line, look at that.
Yeah, I haven't got any coins, but I've got this old hook length dispenser.
Yeah.
So do you want plastic side up or foam? What are you going for?
Plastic side up.
Plastic side up for Zack. Oops.
Hey,
Foam.
He's done it.
That's only fair, you went
Jake's
first last time,
first,
didn't you?
yeah, true.
Right, we'll get rid of the
Let's have
waggler then.
Yeah.
And I'll go in on the loafer. Although I think the waggler's going to be better for it. No good really. I was being lazy. I just left my loafer on there. I was actually tangled there anyway, but tried to chuck it long. It's not very fast flowing here, and the loafer isn't really the presentation. I think what we're going to have to do is get Zack in here with the waggler. It's very slow. Slow water, you just get a lovely drop on the bait on the waggler. This is probably a little bit too heavy, and I can't really cast it where I need to. I think we're going to have to bang it into the snag and then spray maggot round it and hope the chub come out. You know, all along this stretch there's a good head of chub. So if we don't catch one here, we're just going to go upstream, find some nice areas and keep plugging away really. It's not going to be totally easy. I'm sure if we persevere we'll catch a few. Well, I cannot believe we couldn't catch a chub out of that first swim. It looked absolutely textbook, that lovely collapsed willow. And to be honest, we'd done our homework there. Back in the summer, that area was absolutely stacked with chub. We tried several swims upstream and downstream of that snag, and we just couldn't get any bites, and time was ticking. We decided to go downstream to a different area, and to be honest, we went somewhere that I was mega excited to fish. I'd done a little bit of stalking in the summer and a little bit of legwork, and on one of those trips I stumbled across some huge chub. But would they still be sat under that same snag? I just had to find out. Well, we couldn't buy a bite out the other swim, so we've had a move. We've moved stretches now. We've come downstream and the river becomes a little bit more natural here. There's a little bit more flow. And just behind me there's a bit of a deep run and a nice snag on the inside. Now, back in the summer I had a look under that snag and there were some very big chub. So I'm pretty excited to run a float through. I've been meaning to come and give it a go. We'll run a float down and see if the shoal are still underneath the snag. Hopefully they are. I'm sure there will be one or two. But I'm going to feed for a while. It's really clear here. Really, really clear. It's not very deep, quite shallow. It's a lovely pair of swans that have been working their way up and down, just feeding. It's probably only 2 foot deep to our left. There's a bit of a hole, but this feature is where I think the chub will be. Right, here we go. This is it. £6 chub on the float coming up. Lovely. Just hitting the branches now. Not that time. Well, there you go, my lucky jumper. I just spend all day trying to get hooks out of it and cutting hooks out of it. Oh, look at that. Another hole for the jumper. But won't throw this one away. I've many a big fish in the old. Every angler's got a lucky jumper, haven't they? And this one is mine. And there are many like it, but this one is mine. If I look back through my photos, I don't know how many chub photos I've got with this jumper on, but there must be quite a few. And Zack's photographed plenty of chub for me in this jumper, haven't you?
Yeah.
I just need a bit of luck today, really. It's not easy. I think I'm fishing really well in this swim. We've got a lovely snag, and I'm just presenting that waggler right down to the raft. It's just going past, and it's one of those swims where you just think every time the float goes down, you think it's going to go whop. So I'm waiting for it. I just hope we can tease some chub. Oh, I thought that was it then. Right, here we go, come on. I like a swim like this where you can fire it down. Just work the old waggler down. Definitely don't need a loafer, the waggler's definitely presented all right. Just need a nice big chub now on the edge of that bush to come out and take the maggots. Yeah, chub on. Oh, good fish. Oh, he's come off. No, no. I hope they ain't snapped me. Right down the swim. But there's chub there. That felt a good fish. Shouldn't have gone on that £4 line. I went down to the 4 because I thought it was so clear I was going to struggle for a bite. Took me by surprise, to be fair. I'm absolutely gutted because we haven't had a bite all day. It's the first bite we've had, first connection, and you live for that as a chub angler. When you're trotting, you live for that solid moment, and that fish took off. It's only shallow here. Flew back in under the raft, and I only had it on for a couple of seconds and the hook link snapped. Now, it's my own fault. I should have gone up to the £5. I went down to £4 because it's so clear, and yeah, there's no weed in the river really. It's only once you get upstream, you would have been fine, but that's just too much power, and it's like hit me hard because I've seen the fish here. You know, I've seen some very big chub here, and yeah, I wouldn't have minded. But that was easily a £5 chub, and I know you don't know that unless you see them, but I caught enough of them on the float to know that that weren't a small fish. So I'm shaking. I'm excited. There's a shoal there, but bugger, it's not what we want. So I'm going to rig up again and go back in, up the hook length. It's exactly the same scenario as Zack last week. Just retying everything now, just out of fear of losing another one. Zack's kindly said I can have another go. Hopefully, I'm going to right that wrong. Lick my wounds, get back in there. Hopefully, land this one. It's a very good fish, I think, so I'm a bit gutted, but there's no point dwelling on it. It's happened. It's just part of fishing. You can't always catch every single one. I've gone up to the £5, which I should have had on anyway, so I'm kicking myself. But I'm going to keep delivering this waggler straight into that snag, and I'm sure there'll be more than one there. There was a pod of, you know, half a dozen fish there in the summer, if not more. Steady stream of maggots going down. I'm sure we'll get one or two. If we're lucky. I just hope it hasn't spooked the rest. But sometimes losing one isn't as bad as actually catching one. You can kind of spook the swim when you catch one and all the commotion of bringing it all the way in. Whereas sometimes you lose one like that, it's quick, it's over, and you can still get another chance. So I'm hoping to go back in there and catch one. Come on, no pressure. I'm just going to feed again, get another rod down there, and like Zack's just said to me, it is real hit and hold stuff. It's a dangerous swim, but you've got to trust your tackle, which I normally do. And if I hook another one, I'm just going to have to hold on, sink that tip, and pray that that hook length holds. It's that first initial second in the fight that's going to be the problem. Once I get them upstream, away from the danger, they should be fine. So waggler's going down now, it's kissing the raft. It's right in the zone. The bite was a little bit further on. I was just about to reel in actually, but I'm positive there'll still be chub there taking bait. When you feed maggots, you're not just feeding one fish. Certain there'll be some others. That's as far as I dare let it go. Just got to keep persistent really, just got to keep going, keep trying and hope there's another chance. That's never nice losing a fish. Really nice to get a big chub from this river. Banging the waggler down, trapping it just off the bush. I think I'm going to get another bite, mate, I can feel it. Yeah, chub on. Oh, I'm off. Can you believe it? I don't think it snapped me, it's just come off. Oh. Bloody opened up the super spade. I had him on for what? Split second? That is ridiculous. My luck must be absolutely out at the moment. I don't mind losing the chub to snapping. I can sort of swallow that, that's my own fault. But to bend a size 18 super spade, what's that all about, you know? I've been feeding the shrimp now for 45 minutes. I'm sure there's going to be others. So I'm going to keep the bait going in, get another cast off that raft. Hopefully, we get one in. I need my luck to change now. And I've gone up to a 16. I don't like it, it's a big hook and it doesn't look very well presented, but just that's what I'm having to do. I can't risk putting another 18 on, which I've caught loads of chub on with no trouble. Big fish as well, like, you know, 6.5 pound chub on that size hook, no problems whatsoever. I might have to put a complaint in with Drennan, to be honest. Oh. Nervous. I feel the old heart going, mate. It's horrible. It's horrible, but great all at once. Just, you just don't want to lose them. It's not why I come out here, is it? I didn't come out this morning thinking, oh, I'd love to hook a couple of chub and lose them. We've had to work so hard at the river as well. It's not been easy. Oh, this is dangerous. I don't like it. I do like it and I don't like it. It's one of them where you want it to go down there and you don't want it to go down there because it's, you know it's dangerous, but that's where they live. I'm just hoping that I can get another one. Yeah. Oh, now he's exploded on the surface. Jesus Christ. I've got to keep this rod low. That's a big fish if it is a chub. I've never hooked a chub and seen it explode out the water like that. Just holding him there now. You just got to trust your tackle. Gone up to the 16. I'm hoping it's going to hold. He's right down the swim and he's kicking in the weed. I can see boils coming up. It's only shallow, but it's good because he's going the right way. I just don't want him to kite back into the snag. I'm going to have to try and draw him upstream. Oh, come on, chub. My heart is absolutely thumping. I've lost 2 big fish. Connected to what feels like another good one. Oh, and he is not happy. Come on, baby. Keep coming this way. The lovely thing about a chub, you get the tip down, you can tend to draw them upstream like a dog on a lead, and that's what I'm trying to do here. I've just got to watch out. On the inside bank here, there's a horrible snag, and that's obviously where they're living. But I think he's coming upstream now. I think he's well away from the snag. He is. I've never seen a chub come out the water like that when I've hooked it. Yes, it is a chub and it looks a very big fish, that. Be kind to me. I've got you away from all the danger. It's solid, it's in some weed. Come on, that's a nice fish, that. Oh, Come on. This is what I live for. Big chub on the waggler. Come on, darling. That's it. Oh, she looks phenomenal in that clear water. Come on. Yes! Well, I'll tell you what, I've worked so hard for that bite, and after losing two, my heart is absolutely thumping. As far as chub fishing goes, that is about as exciting as it gets. Looking in that net, that is a lovely chub. That is a beautiful chub, and that's a big chub as well. Look at that. I'll get over on the mat and have a closer look. That's a big fish, that. Look at that for a chub. Right, I'm just going to weigh this chub. I think it's worth weighing. I reckon it's over £5. Fantastic. Make sure our fins are nice and flat. We'll see what that says on there. That's £5, 12 ounces. Oh, take that on a cold winter's day, wouldn't you? Fantastic. Any chub over £5 is a big one, and that size on the float, that is incredible. Look at the size of that fish's tail. Well, after two losses, I am absolutely made up with this. Zack's seen me catch some lovely chub over the years, and I have to say, this fish is probably right up there. I don't know what it is, but they seem to mean so much more when they're on the float, and especially after losing two, I couldn't be happier to finally get a result and see such a beautiful chub. I'm gonna rest her up and then get a couple of photos and slip her back. Couldn't ask for a better result than that.
That's what we want.
On a cold winter's day. Hold her closer into me. How's that?
Yep.
That's lovely. That'd do, wouldn't it? Last one. There you go. That'd do. That's lovely. Nothing wrong with them, is there? Just going to slip her back in here. Oh, there we go. There she goes. Gosh, she looks amazing in there.